BoLS fans, Larry Vela here, and I'm here with Stable Abe.
How you doing, guys?
And we are back to show you even more Runewars.
Woo!
So, what's going on today is we have set up a sample turn here, and Abe, what are we going to walk through here?
We're gonna walk through the activation phase of the game, which is where most of the actual combat and movement takes place. So in this scenario, we've already gone ahead and decided our orders, taken care of our command phase actions, and we're moving on to the actual meat of the game.
This is where the moving and the fighting.
Moving and fighting, yeah. Sorry, I have a little cough here, so just forgive me. But for this example, we've also gone ahead and we're just going to show you the command tools face down. Normally, they would start up hidden from each other.
Right, because each player is going to set them, and it's going to be all secret.
Yeah.
But this isn't about playing the game against another person. This is about showing you all how it actually works.
Exactly. So, just to kind of describe what we've got here on the table, we've got our forces. I'm going to be playing the forces of We Acquire the Undying.
Dun dun dun.
Larry's got the Deccan Lords. So I've got one unit of Reanimates.
And it's a big unit.
It's a big unit here.
Full 16.
Yeah, and so they, at that size, at 4 basis size, they can take a couple different upgrades, like the standard or the Hornblower one. I forget the actual names. So they've taken the Terrifying Heraldry standard, which can kind of scare their enemies, and we'll go over that later. Okay. And then, Larry, what do you got?
I have a Rune Golem. So I got to have the big scary guy who's on the cover of the box. So he is right here, and he's pretty scary. With his 4 defense and 2 wounds he can take. And then over here, I have a unit of Oath-Sworn Cavalry, and we have 2 bases of them.
Yeah.
And how we've set it up is we have this kind of this marsh swampy thing in the middle. There are rules for it, but for the purposes of this, we're just basically treating it as this is something that the units are going to be trying to avoid.
Avoid, right.
And we have set the command tools.
Command tools are set
for all 3 units.
Also, just to let you know, at the beginning of the turn, you throw the rune die, the little rune tokens. So what we've ended up here with,
that is our energy pool. You throw 5 of them, and we've ended up with this setting, which is
it's going to be 2 of the unstable energy, 2 stable energy, and 2 natural energy. Which is
cool. So for this turn, that's how much energy is in effect, and in what amounts, and different units based on different armies may or may not be able to harness some of those energy tokens. Right. Obviously, that pool gets rethrown at the start of every turn.
Yes. So. We're gonna get into it now. So the Deccan Lords are player 1 in this situation.
Sure.
So the way it starts is we start down by counting up from initiative. So is anyone acting at initiative 1?
So initiative. So you would say exactly. So everyone has set all their command tools, and now you just basically start at 1 and you count your way up, initiative step by initiative step, and then when units get to go, they get to go. So initiative 1, nope. Nothing. Initiative 2. I don't have anything.
Nope.
Initiative 3. You have anything?
No, I don't have anything.
And remember, initiative is indicated by the little white numbers that are on your command tool. So that tells you what initiative that particular action that you've chosen is. Initiative 4, I have something.
I have something also.
Uh-oh, we have a tie.
Right.
Okay, but I'm player 1.
Player 1. So he would get to activate 1 unit first.
Okay.
And I would get to activate 1 unit, and if there was more than 2 units at initiative 4, we would alternate back and forth.
I gotcha. Okay, so at initiative 4, I have my Rune Golem, and I have chosen that he is going to move forward by at a speed equal to the number of those,
which is the unstable energy.
Unstable energy. So 2 of them are in effect, so he can move forward 2. And as my modifier, I have chosen attack.
Oh, so that's the charge.
Yeah,
the charge burst.
Yeah, I'm charging.
So normally, if you hit an enemy unit without charge, you can just walk into an enemy unit. But you don't get to make any attack when that happens, and you also get a little scared. You get a panic token. Okay. So if your guys are just wandering around and bump into some enemies,
you're like, whoa, bad guys.
Yeah, we didn't mean to do that. But because he took that charge modifier,
they're ready.
Right. So not only does he not take that panic, but he actually gets to make an attack after he does it.
Okay.
And I think he might be walking into my Reanimates now. So let's see how that goes.
Okay, so I'm moving forward 2 because that's how much of the. So you can imagine how these guys are going to be very. There's this, there's a lot of randomness here. Like if you on some turns if they don't get any of that energy, maybe they just are sitting there.
Right.
Or on some turns they could go really fast. So they kind of their powers kind of
wax and wane.
Wax and wane. Okay, so I'm gonna get the 2, which is this guy right here, and we're gonna put him. I'm gonna put him right here. lock him in right there. And then I'm not turning or anything, so I'm gonna go straight forward, and I'm gonna go. Normally, I would pick him up and I would go to the very end of it, but as you're gonna see, I'm gonna hit them far before that. So by the time I get there, so they have been reached in combat.
All right. So what's happened is they've collided.
Okay.
Is the actual term.
Okay.
So when you collide with an enemy model, now he's gonna take his model. He's gonna the first thing he's gonna do is he's gonna turn the line up to me.
Okay.
Then he's gonna slide down to like maximize basically.
Okay.
To lock up a full base on a full base like that.
There we go.
Now there is corner to corner touching in this game, so both of these bases are now touching his one base.
Okay.
Now Larry's gonna get to go ahead and attack.
Okay. So several things are going on here. So first of all, my normal attack dice is I get 2 red dice. So here's our pool. We're gonna move these out of the way. I have my 2 dice, but before I roll these, so I'm gonna get whatever I roll on these is what my effect is going to be, but there's also something special. So a Rune Golem has a special rule called Brutal, which means while attacking, your threat is increased by a number equal to the amount of stable energy. So 2 are in effect. So right now, what is my current threat right now?
So your threat is going to be equal to the number of trays that you have touching the enemy.
So 1.
So 1. But he's going to have 2 extra. So he actually has a threat of 3.
Okay.
Which is pretty crazy.
And as you can see, so once again, Rune Golems, they're going to be waxing and waning from turn to turn, and it's interesting that they use one type of magic to can be used to make them go faster, but another type of magic is making them scarier in combat.
Right.
So they're going to get all kinds of weirdnesses with these guys. Okay, so I have my 2. You ready?
Yep.
You ready?
Go ahead and roll them.
Going.
See what we do.
My threat level's 3. Here we go.
All right. Well, that's pretty brutal.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. Whew.
So Larry got. Each of these dice has a double hit result on them. That's pretty much the best thing he could roll for straight up damage.
Okay.
All right. So he's got 4 hit to spend.
Sure.
But every time you spend one of the tokens on your dice, it's modified by your threat value.
Okay.
Which is 3. So he actually has 12.
Wow.
Right.
So that's 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage.
Okay.
So he's going to go ahead and start assigning those.
I'm going to start assigning them.
You assign them to models. He gets to choose who they're assigned to, and you assign them to models in the rear rank first. Now, the rank is not just the models in the back, it's the actual whole tray in the back.
Okay.
So any of these 8 models you could assign a hit to.
Okay. So I will assign it to all 8 of the models in the back.
So my models, my reanimates, they only have a 1 hit point, or one damage, 1 defense, and they've got 1 health. So basically, 1 hit is going to kill every one of those.
Okay.
So that's just going to kill straight up 12 of my models.
Right. So that's 3 trays.
Right. So once he's killed this tray,
I'll hold that down so you can take those off.
He can now assign damage to this tray, and then after that's killed, he can now assign damage to this tray.
Got it? You can do it. You can do it.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right. So that was a pretty brutal attack.
That was crazy.
That just messed me up pretty bad. It's not looking so good for me.
Okay. And I'm done.
And you're done. Yep.
Interestingly, I rolled no panic at all.
No panic at all.
So there's not going to be any use of the morale deck. None of that.
Right.
So it was just all straight damage.
All straight damage. When my guys are undead, they don't care.
And he just walked in and stomped a bunch of
Yes.
Okay.
So now I get to attack back because it's now my turn to act.
Okay.
I'm initiative 4. My action was attack action. If I hadn't chosen that, I wouldn't get to make any attacks. So this is an issue. So if I had, say, taken a move action, I would just do nothing. I would sit there, and you'd get to hit me some more. I've taken an attack action, and I've chosen the panic modifier. So this panic modifier means that when I take the attack action, I automatically count as doing 1 panic hit.
Okay. Automatically.
Automatically.
So you basically get a free one as if you rolled it.
Right.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, I only have a threat of 1 right now because he killed that whole tray. And I don't get any rerolls because I don't have any ranks. Your ranks can give you rerolls, but I don't have any.
Okay.
So I'm just rolling these 2 dice.
Because you, by default, reanimates have 2 red dice.
Right.
There we go.
And I've got a panic, a hit, and a surge.
Okay.
So in this situation, it's not really the best option. Best result for me. So I can do a single hit to him, but he's got an armor of 4, so that does nothing. So I assign 1 hit to him, but he's better than his armor.
So
it just goes away. Bounces off his attack. I've got a surge, but I actually don't have anything that benefits from surge in this situation.
Okay.
So it does nothing either.
Okay.
So I do have 1 panic, and then I've got a second free panic from my ability there.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to cause a panic check in him.
Okay.
At a level of 2. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to take the panic deck.
And you get two cards from
Right.
it.
You draw a number of cards equal to the severity of the panic check you
Those
caused,
are your 2 cards.
which was 2. And now I can choose one of these cards to spend, but it has to be having a number here equal to or less than the panic check I caused. Now luckily I caused a level 2 panic check, so I can cause I can do either of these.
Okay.
Unfortunately, neither is going to have much effect in this situation. So I can do a loss of faith, which means if he has more than 1 tray, he actually has to choose and discard a whole tray.
Which is a really good one.
It's really good.
Except I only have one tray. So that one isn't useful.
The other one I can have is I can make him discard all of his boons. He doesn't have any boons on him right now.
Okay.
But if he has no boons, he does receive 1 panic token. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this Wavering Resolve.
Okay.
I'm just going to go ahead and put a panic token.
Puts a panic token on me.
Now, that was the panic attack. So that's all my attack did.
Okay.
But it would mean that if I cause another panic attack to him, it'll be worse.
Okay.
So now we go and say, hey, was there anyone that acted? That was initiative 4.
And so initiative 4 is now done. Initiative 5, nothing.
Nothing.
Initiative 6,
Nothing.
Nothing. Initiative 7, Oathsworn Cavalry.
They're gonna go now.
So they're going to go now. So what we've done with them is they're trying to kind of flank around the back. So I have chosen a move 4, which is really fast, and as my modifier, I've done the turn and charge 1. Bank, which also reduces the speed of the move by 1. So instead of going 4 straight, I will do 3 at an angle. So I'm going to put that right here, and I'm going to go over here. And I could have charged, but there is nobody to charge at this particular point.
Now there's actually an interesting thing that happens if you fail a charge.
So I'm going to end up right there. Okay.
So because he took the charge action but didn't actually collide with anyone, he actually automatically takes a panic token.
No.
So his guys are like, yeah, we're going to go charge, and then
But
they kind of get
nobody.
confused and
There
a
was
little
nobody here.
weird, and like, why is our commander telling us to charge off into the middle of this field?
And that was a mistake on my chart because I also had the ability to simply do a turn that was not a charge, which I could have done, but
Right. Perhaps he thought I was going to move my reanimates back or something.
Wanted insurance because you never know, they might have done something weird. Because he could have, like, as an example, he could have done a
shift action.
A shift and moved kind of, in a weird direction.
Right.
And I might have been able to get him.
In fact, I probably would have if I had my 2nd rank back there.
That's true. So it was worth the risk.
Yeah. So that's the end of that turn.
Okay.
That command phase or action phase because we have nothing else to go on to.
You do have.
I do have a terrifying thing. So at the end of the next phase is the end phase. So there's a couple effects that are going to quickly happen at the end phase. You just kind of clean up some stuff. So my banner does say that at the end of the end phase, every enemy I'm engaged with does get a panic token.
Okay.
So he's going to get a 2nd panic token.
He now has 2.
Right. Which isn't great. Excuse me. Secondly, my regenerate effect takes place now.
Okay.
So for each of the green runes here, the natural energy that's in effect on the table, I can bring back one of my dead models.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I can only place them in trays that have empty slots. I can't bring back a whole tray. And since I have no trays around, I don't get anything back.
So that was just a particularly perfect attack.
A particularly perfect attack.
It did a huge amount of damage and exactly enough that it removed exactly whole trays.
Exactly. So if I had just one guy left in that tray,
right, you could use that and get a bunch of them and get up to 3 of them back.
Yeah. So that's basically the only thing that's going to happen in the end phase. Then we do some cleanup. We're going to throw some stuff around, but that's basically more or less your movement and combat in Rune Wars.
And there we go. We'll have more Rune Wars in the days ahead. Thanks for watching, guys.